Happening now, the mayor of Olean responds to allegations of homophobia, and Governor Kathy Hochul has signed legislation to help protect workers. Plus, a Dunkirk social service office received a long-awaited renovation.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us at Western New York News Now. I'm Lee Kane Jr. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, a Mayville man has been sentenced to 2 to 6 years in prison for a fatal hit-and-run incident that occurred on July 7, 2022. Erie County District Attorney John J. Flynn announced yesterday that 38-year-old Nicholas J. Rosado, also known as Nicholas J. Boaz, received a sentence before State Supreme Court Justice Paul J. Wojciech. Rosado's conviction stems from an incident where on July 7, 2022, at approximately 10 p.m., he struck a bicyclist while driving a pickup truck on Abbott Road in the city of Buffalo near Kennefic Avenue. Tragically, the victim, 27-year-old Theodore Dion of West Seneca, lost his life as a result of the collision. Rosado had pleaded guilty to one count of leaving the scene of an incident resulting in death, a Class D felony, on July 20, 2023, fully satisfying the indictment against him. In addition to the prison sentence, Rosado's driver's license and vehicle registration were revoked, preventing him from operating a vehicle upon his release under supervision. Well, in other news, Williamsville resident Sienna D. Fomacoy, 35, received a 2 to 6 year prison sentence today from Erie County Court Judge James Bargnesi, announced Erie County District Attorney John J. Flynn. Between September 30, 2020 and October 7, 2022, Fomacoy, a former employee of a Clarence Fitness Center, embezzled $110,312.48. She illicitly processed credit card refunds meant for customers, but diverted the funds into her personal bank account. On June 28, 2023, Fomacoy pleaded guilty to one count of grand larceny in the second degree, a Class C felony, and signed a confession of judgment obligating her to repay the full amount to the victim. As of now, no restitution has been made. Well, in other news, in the early hours of September 6, 2023, Chautauqua County Sheriff's deputies responded to a disturbance call in the town of Mena, leading to the arrest of a 41-year-old male on charges of unlawful imprisonment in the second degree and harassment in the second degree. At approximately 1 a.m. on September 6, 2023, Chautauqua County Sheriff's deputies responded to a reported altercation at an address in the town of Mena. Following a thorough investigation, Jace T. Bemis, 41, was apprehended and subsequently charged with unlawful imprisonment in the second degree and harassment in the second degree. Bemis was transported to the Chautauqua County Jail, where he awaits his initial appearance in court for arraignment proceedings. Well, in other news, a 40-year-old Jamestown resident has been arrested and charged with assault in the second degree and strangulation in the second degree following a disturbing incident in Jamestown. In the early hours of September 6, 2023, Jamestown Police Department responded to multiple frantic 911 calls from a Southside address. Upon arrival, officers encountered a female victim in Randy J. Wright Jr., 40, of Jamestown, who was known to have active warrants from the Jamestown City Court. Wright was apprehended without resistance and transported to the city jail. An investigation revealed that prior to his arrest, Wright had assaulted the female victim by striking her in the face with a pair of keys clenched in his fist. Additionally, he had strangled the victim the previous night, causing her to lose consciousness. In addition to his existing warrants, Wright now faces charges of assault in the second degree and strangulation in the second degree. He's being held pending arraignment in the Jamestown City Court. As WNY News Now continues, the mayor of Olean responds to allegations of homophobia after Pride attendees found themselves locked out of the bathrooms. And later, the New York State Comptroller has released an audit looking into improper Medicaid payments. Stay with us as WNY News Now. We'll be right back.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
You are loved. You are valued. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
An August Pride in the Park celebration quickly took a sour turn when attendees found themselves locked out of the bathrooms in an event that coalition members are calling a callous disregard. Organizers of the Pride Coalition explained that they had booked the War Veterans Park for Saturday, August 26th, and upon discussions regarding costs and services, the question of whether the restrooms would be available was brought up. According to the president of Cattaraugus County Pride Coalition, Pab Sungenis, organizers were assured by Olean city officials that as long as the event was scheduled to run from noon to 4 p.m. on Saturday, the bathrooms would be open and no extra fee would be necessary. During the early hours of the event, organizers quickly realized that the restrooms remained locked and allegedly continuously called various city officials with no response or explanation given until around 2 hours into the event, where, according to a coalition member, a representative from the Department of Public Works contacted the president of the coalition to inform them that according to the contract that was signed, the bathrooms would only be available while the pool was open. According to Sungenis, the city ended the pool season early, and conveniently, the only event that remained in the city's calendar past pool season was the Pride event in the park. With no restrooms available, many attendees sought relief across the busy intersection on Front Street and State Street to the local Country Fair convenience store. Sungenis continues stating, the decisions made by the city, first in unilaterally deciding to lock us out of the bathrooms, second in refusing to tell us about the decision, and then to wait until it was too late to hire porta-johns or seek another option, was reckless and put dozens of people in danger, not to mention disruptive to a local business not connected with our organization in any way. In a one-on-one interview with WNY News Now, Mayor William Aiello explained the mix-up from the city's perspective. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, there was a mix-up. Unfortunately, there was a mix-up. That they were our standard procedure is that if the rec center, the swimming pool at that time is open, that the restrooms will be available. And if it's not open, then they can pay for us to staff the facility to have the restrooms. The facility was supposed to be open. We closed because of lifeguard shortages. It was closed. We could not open the facility, and that message was not relayed to them. I'm not going to get into we said this or she said that or they said that. My understanding is the option was given to them, and because the facility was going to be open, they did not take that option. And then when like I said, there was a miscommunication, and we failed to get back to them and say, look, the building's going to be closed. So if you want the restrooms, you're going to have to pay for them. So we did not do that. So that's the corrective action we're taking to make sure that this doesn't happen again. That if somebody rents the facility and we have to close it for whatever reason, we would get back to them as soon as we find that out and say the facilities are going to be closed. Your options are to rent the restrooms.
Members of the coalition are planning a peaceful protest in the upcoming week to address the city council and call upon the city for change. Well, in other news, Thomas P. DiNapoli, the New York State Comptroller, has released an audit looking into improper Medicaid payments for outpatient services being billed as inpatient claims. New York's Medicaid program reimburses hospitals for services, the price of which is dependent on a patient's status as either inpatient or outpatient. Inpatients are generally more expensive because they usually require overnight observation, whereas outpatient services are normally performed the same day as admission and do not require prolonged observation. The audit identified 34,264 fee-for-service inpatient claims totaling $360.6 million, where hospitals reported the recipients were discharged within 24 hours of admission. There is a high risk that a portion of these claims were improper if the services provided should have been billed as outpatient. Using a sample of 190 claims totaling $4,261,428 from 6 hospitals, auditors found 91 claims, 48%, totaling $1,577,821 were billed improperly. There's an equally high risk that a portion of the remaining 34,074 claims, totaling $356 million, were likewise improperly billed as inpatient services. Well, coming up, Governor Hochul has signed legislation to help protect workers. And later, New York State has started the first round of funding from the Empire State Teacher Residency Program. But first, we return with a look at our full weather forecast.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza. Yes.
Make a plan today.
Hi, everyone. Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that Smokey's only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
But I'm filling in because there's a lot more to report. Like when there are parched or windy conditions out there, you gotta be extra careful with things like burning yard waste. After all, wildfires can start anywhere, even in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
Welcome back to WNY News Now. Well, we've had high pressure maintaining our weather for pretty much the past week. That's kept us dry and kept us also warm and humid. But as that ridge of high pressure begins to slowly drift off to the east over the next few days, it will begin to weaken, and that's going to allow some more chances for showers and thunderstorms to come back into the region. Not so much today, but through Thursday and Friday. And it will also cool down as well behind a couple passing cold fronts. But we do have a marginal risk to see some severe storms late this afternoon into the evening hours tonight. Now, any of these storms could contain mainly damaging winds, not really expecting anything other than some damaging winds, not expecting any hail or tornadoes out there or even any flooding. And the timing will be late this afternoon through the evening hours of tonight. We also have a severe marginal outlook for tomorrow as well, mainly across eastern portions of the region tomorrow. Same thing for tomorrow as it was today, just a chance to see some damaging winds with some of these storms. And tomorrow's storms will be more widespread than they were today. The almanac for today, we made it to a high of 85 degrees yesterday in the city of Jamestown, and our low was 63, and the records for the day 94 set back in 1954, and a record low of 35 set back in 1962. So let's time out future scan for the next 24 to 48 hours through the rest of the evening hours and overnight hours tonight. Generally just a couple isolated showers, but those chances for storms will start to increase into the late overnight hours with more widespread showers and thunderstorms crossing the region tomorrow. Again, a few of those storms tomorrow could contain damaging winds as well as some heavy rains, as some of those storms could be slow movers. And then as they had Thursday night into Friday, the chances for storms become more isolated in nature, but we'll still keep some showers in the forecast for Friday. So here's your forecast for tonight. Mostly cloudy skies. A few scattered showers and thunderstorms will begin to become more widespread across the western areas late into the overnight hours. Be another muggy night as well, so keep those fans and air conditioners going with lows overnight ranging from the upper 60s to the lower 70s with a southwest wind of around 5 miles per hour. For tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies with periods of showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. The temperatures do come down a little bit tomorrow as compared to the past few days, but it will still be muggy with highs tomorrow ranging from the upper 70s to the lower 80s. And now that 7-day outlook powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So as these systems move across the region, a couple cold fronts will move through the region as well between Thursday and Friday. And that's going to bring the temperatures back down to the mid 70s on Friday, and then we'll go lower 70s Saturday and Sunday, still with those chances for showers and forecasts. And then we're in the lower 70s for early next week, drying out by Monday, a few more showers Tuesday and Wednesday, and then look where the highs go by Wednesday of next week, temperatures only in the low to mid 60s.
Andrew, thank you. Governor Kathy Hochul has signed 3 pieces of legislation to help protect workers' political and religious freedom, strengthen laws against wage theft, and increase support for injured workers. The 3 pieces of legislation are S4982/A6604, S2832-A/A154-A, and S1161-A/A2034-A. S4982/A6604 expands protections of employees' freedom of speech and conscience, further prohibiting employers from disciplining employees who opt not to participate in meetings sponsored by the employer concerning the employer's views on political and religious matters. S2832-A/A154-A adds wage theft to the types of activities included in the crime of larceny. By amending the penal code, this legislation allows prosecutors to seek stronger penalties against employees who steal wages from workers. Employers who steal wages from workers, my bad. And then S1161-A/A2034-A increases the minimum benefits for workers' compensation to better protect low-wage workers who are injured and cannot work. This piece of legislation provides minimum benefits for permanent or temporary partial disability to be increased to $275 in 2024, increased to $325 in 2025, and increased to 1/5 of the state average weekly wage in 2026. This legislation will help to ensure that all New Yorkers receive the benefits and protections that allow them to work with dignity, Governor Hochul said. My administration is committed to making our state the most worker-friendly state in the nation, and I thank the bill sponsors for their partnership in our mission to establish the strongest and most robust protections right here in New York. Governor Hochul also announced actions to expand and support a diverse teacher workforce in New York State. At an event at the United Federation of Teachers, Governor Hochul announced the first round of funding awards of the $30 million Empire State Teacher Residency Program. In the first round of funding for the program, multiple school districts and BOCES are receiving a total of $11.9 million in funding to create a 2-year residency opportunities for graduate-level K-12 teacher candidates. Program participants will gain real teaching experience under the supervision of mentors. Governor Hochul also signed legislation A68A/S2140B, which directs the Commissioner of the State Education Department, in consultation with institutions of higher education, to issue guidance to school districts and boards of cooperative educational services for developing programs to attract underrepresented candidates into the teaching profession and to identify existing funding available to school districts for such purposes. Governor Hochul also signed legislation S1746/A1120, which requires public school districts to develop and implement programs to prevent workplace violence in alignment with other public employers. Teachers take on the vital role of educating and preparing our children for a successful future, and we have the responsibility to ensure that they have the necessary resources and training to support them in this important task, Governor Hochul said. We're working hard to build a world-class public education system in New York, and our investment in our teachers is a core component of our success. Well, coming up next, a Dunkirk social service building finally received a renovation, years in the making.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
If you want to speak truth to the masses, make it funny for the classes.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Aiming to improve the environment for clients and staff, a Dunkirk social service office got a makeover and was unveiled on Tuesday. City of Dunkirk and Chautauqua County officials made their way to 15 West Lucas Avenue in Dunkirk to celebrate the remodel with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. This project took several years to complete, beginning with the search for a new location back in 2019.
Thank you, Dan, and it is truly a pleasure to be here. You know, when we first started talking, as Leanna had mentioned, about finding a new space and moving from downtown, we searched quite a bit in this area, and we wanted to stay committed to the Dunkirk area and close to the downtown corridor. And ironically, the owner of the property reached out to us and said, I have this building, would you be interested?
The renovation features a family area, expanded walk-up windows, a separate interview space, as well as additional storage, break areas, and technological improvements. Well, that's going to be it for us today. I'd like to thank you all for watching. When news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com and on our mobile app. You can download it today for free in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. We're also on Channel 716 on Roku and at channel716.com. Thank you for watching.